Hello everyone, welcome back to the Spring Boot series. Today's video is going to be really interesting because we are learning about something every real world app uses. This is called REST APIs. So for this we are gonna using REST controller. So let us just discuss some theory about REST controller. So REST controller is a Spring Boot annotation that tells Spring, hey, this controller is going to return data, not HTML template. Okay. Unlike our controller annotation, which is used with the theme leaf or JSPs, REST controller sends back JSON data. Perfect when you want to build backend APIs for front-end frameworks. So now let's actually build a real world REST API using Spring Boot from scratch. So our goal is to build a simple backend for a task manager app. You can create tasks, you get a list of all tasks and delete tasks. Later we will connect this with the React.js frontend in this same series. So let's get started. So first of all, guys, I have created one new project in Spring Boot, which is I have named it Task Manager. For the dependencies, you can refer this page. Here I have selected Maven, language is Java, Spring Boot version is 3.4.5. Name I have given Task Manager, and here these are the dependencies. First one is MySQL driver. Second one is DevTools, for we don't need to refresh the page again and again after changing our code. Then we are using Spring Boot, which is mandatory, and here we are using Spring Data JPA for communication with our MySQL database. So now let's just get started. First of all, we will come to here and we'll paste it our previous projects SQL properties, and we'll create one another schema for this project. So we'll name it task underscore manager, and here we will create one new schema named task manager. And apply. Yes. So currently we are not creating here anything because our Spring Data JPA will create everything by itself. For application properties is done. Now we will create one model for saving all our task data. So here our model file is created. Here we will say @entity, because this marks this class as a database table. So our Spring Data JPA will come to know that this particular task class is of what we need to create a table. Okay. So now here we will need one ID, and it will be auto generated. Here private will say long ID. Now we will just need one more another thing, because our task will have one name. So we'll say private, and we'll name it string name, or we will say title. Okay, that's it. Now we'll just need getter, setter and constructors. So we'll quickly create them. Generate getter setters for long title. Now again generate constructors. Also we need a default constructor. Yep, that's it. Now let us guys just discuss this line because we have not discussed it. So generation value means auto generated ID when you save a new task. When suppose if we are saving one task named we can say fee payment, so it would be have ID, but we know we will not give it, it will be generated automatically. Okay, so we will create now repository for MySQL communication. As we previously discussed, task repository would be interface, and which will be annotated by repository, which will also extends JPA, and will pass task. It will have id of long. Yep, that's it. So we are not going to create here service layer. We can do directly also. So here we will say new file task controller .java. Again here we will annotate by @controller, but not controller. This time we are going to use REST controller. So guys, REST controller, as we have discussed, REST controller will return JSON data instead of our HTML templates. So again here we will say one another annotation, which would be request mapping. We are going to request mapping, default mapping for API slash tasks. So if we are requested request mapping here, so any URL we are going to create in this controller will be after this URL. Suppose we have created here slash get URL, so it would be after this URL. So the whole URL would be like this, and previously here it would be localhost colon 8080. This would be our, first of all we will create object for using built-in functions of Spring Data JPA. So we'll say @autowired, and we'll say private task repository That's it. And now we are going to create get mapping. So we'll say get mapping public. We are not specifying URL because we want this get mapping only on this URL only. So that's why we are not specifying it here. So we'll say public string, and we'll say get all tasks. And here we are not going to use model because we don't have to pass our data to HTML template. So we'll simply return our JSON data task repository dot find all. That's it. And here it won't be string because task repository will return our list. So we'll say list of class task, means list will save objects of task. Yep, that's okay. Now we'll say post mapping, and again we need post mapping only on this API, this URL. So we'll say public task create task, and we'll say request body. So guys, here we are using request body because you guys are thinking that why aren't we using model attribute, because we are requesting the whole object. But guys, model attribute is used when we need to retrieve data from our HTML template, but here we are retrieving data from JSON like data, so we need to use request body. We'll say task and task, and here we'll say return task repository dot save task. So in post mapping, it will be triggered when we click on a submit button, and we'll create one submit button for creating a task. So when a task details are filled and submit button is created, then it will come to here and it will request the details of the task, means the object of the task, and then it will be saved to our repository. Yes, and we can here again use one new mapping called delete mapping. This mapping is particularly used when we want to perform delete operations. So here we'll say id will dynamically pass the id through URL. So again public void delete task, and we'll say @path variable because we are taking the value from the URL or path. We'll say long because the data type of id is long, and we'll say id. Here task repository dot delete by id, and here we will pass id. Okay, I guess that's enough for our controller. Yes, so this is the whole code. So let's just check if it is work or not. So guys, right now in previous our projects we were using HTML templates to check it, but here we don't have any kind of HTML templates, so we need to do something else. So I will tell you one another way to check REST APIs. So we are gonna go to our Chrome and we'll search for Postman. The first link is okay, so here we'll click, and here would be one option for download. So here download for desktop, and from here we can download it. I have already downloaded it, so we will just open it. Postman. First of all we will run our app, guys. Yep, this is the window you will get when you open the Postman. First of all, you guys will need to sign in Postman. I have already signed in, and after signing you will see this page. So here there are various sections. First of all, here you need to select which type of method you want to choose, such as get, post. So and here you need to paste the URL on which you need to check the if it is returning the JSON file or not. And then here is the send option, and here you can guys also pass body. Here we will say raw, and here we will pass what we need to, such as if we are only considering here task title, so here we will pass title and we'll send using post method, so our data will get inserted. Okay, so our app has started. First of all we will insert because our app is not our app, our database is empty, and for which we have created mapping. So let's just check. We have created for /API/task, so we'll paste it here. We'll say at this URL we need to send post method, and we will pass our value for the title. So we'll say, so this is our body. Let's just check. It says okay, and it has written with our id 1 and titles yes corner. Let's just confirm in our database. So here we will refresh it, and we are seeing here tables which is named task, and see guys, here our entry is registered. So we'll do another one. So we'll say gym, and we'll say send. So guys, here again it's I guess added, so we'll just refresh it, and guys it's again inserted. Now we'll say we want get method because we have created get mapping also for this URL, which will return all the records of our database. So let's just check it. So we'll say get method on this URL and send. So these are the all entries in our database, guys. This way we can use Postman. Right now we want to use Postman for only checking, but in case we want to display all this information on front ends, so here we can't use our front end such as HTML, so we are gonna use React.js. I have already created the file. You guys will get the link in the description for this React file. So we will just quickly run it. At this URL we will see the output of the React. See, this is our output, but let's just check and add task. See guys, nothing is happening here after clicking on add task. but here we have specified the backend URL that you can do fetch all the things from here. And again, in the task form here we have also said that you can use this URL, but it's not working. That's one issue because we haven't added one line in our backend code. Our Spring Boot doesn't know where to send the data at this React code. That's why there is one another line, or we can say one another notation for this, for connecting both the front end and back end, which is called cross origin. So we'll say @cross origin, and we need to pass origins equal to, we need to pass the URL of our React. So we'll say this is our URL for React. So we'll save it and let's just check if it is running or not. So now we will just come to our front end at React. We'll just refresh it and we'll say, see guys, here there are our entries are coming, and after if we add something else such as cycling, let's just add it. See guys, here it's coming, and if we want to delete it, we can simply click out here and it's deleted. Again deleted, again deleted. So let's just check if it is reflected in our database or not. So we'll just quickly see guys, now our database is empty because we have deleted all things from the here. Okay, I am assuming that you guys know little bit of React. So here we have used a sync method and use that to do all the things, and we have passed our backend URL here, which will fetching our all the data and listed here. Okay, these are all the components, two components, task form and task list, which are fetching. And if you want to these files, so I will put it in the description. You guys can download from there. Okay, so in this video you guys learn what is REST controller, what are REST APIs, and how to integrate Spring Boot and React and JSON communication. If this video helped you understand how REST controller works and how to build a real world REST API with Spring Boot and React, leave a like, share with your developer friends, and subscribe for more videos like this.